Sup guys, this is Phoenix. So this is an educational video about what happens when you are retarded enough to follow Be-6 and try to shoot him down. So as you can see here, we have two very strong turrets. I don't remember if those are 20 or 23mm guns, but regardless, what happens to everyone who gets close is what will happen to those two guys. So this guy was trying to mock them in the chat. Yeah, just observe what will happen. See, guy got easily owned in a Spitfire. This, I think he got his flap down from the P-47, but the P-47 died. Yeah, so two guys, they attacked B-6 and all they could do was destroy his flaps. Or rather, one of his flaps. And this guy easily survived until the end of the battle. There will be one more retard foolish enough to run away from me and go at B6 from behind. So let me rewind to that point. Yeah, just look at this. What will happen? He gets close, he starts shooting. Yeah, B6. I'm not sure why, but the replay doesn't seem to display when the B6 is shooting, but do believe me that that guy got owned very fast. Alright guys, let me give you a quick overview of the turrets. So they are all 23mm guns, and we have one here, two here, and two here. So this turret, the rearmost turret, is the most dangerous one because it can fire almost everywhere behind the tail, both in the horizontal and in the vertical plane. I mean, horizontally it will be almost everything, almost the full 180 degrees coverage, but vertically it's less. Well, I think it's 60 degrees up and 40 degrees downwards, but remember the plane just has to pitch up or pitch down and you are back in the range, so don't think of flying over this turret upwards from above or from below, because you'll be quickly fired upon anyway. Not to mention that if you fly above, you will find yourself in the range of this turret here, which has a full horizontal coverance of 360 degrees, well, almost. And vertically it can fire almost perfectly, almost completely upwards, I think 88 degrees, yes. So whenever you are above this plane, you are in the range of this turret. Oh yeah, I mentioned it has almost a full horizontal coverage, and the reason why it doesn't is this X shape. The two engines and the two elements of the tail here are getting in the way. When you look at it like this, you should see how big the tail and engines are and how they block the cannon from firing in those two, well, four directions. But don't count on those blind points. The plane is moving, remember. So even if you temporarily find yourself in those blind spots, you'll still be quickly fired upon. Not to mention that we still have the frontal turret, which has a relatively large coverage, 60 degrees, both horizontally and vertically. So basically like this, because this is 30 in each direction, and horizontally like this. So when you attack from above, you are likely going to be in the range of this turret at least, and possibly both those two turrets if you're coming from behind, or both those two turrets if you're coming in from the front. If you come in from the side, you will quickly find yourself in the range of this turret, especially the plane rolls around. So what to do? There are two approaches you can make. One completely from below, where the B6 has no turrets. Secondly, you can take approach from something like more or less like this, from here to here. This kind of angle is relatively safe, especially if you fly in a bit from below, because this turret can only shoot up to here, I suppose. So between here and the wing, you are safe. But the closer you get to the fringes of this angle, the more like you are going to be fired upon by either this or this turret, so be extremely careful. Firing from below is the optimal solution. Also, there is one additional tactics that you can use because if when you look at the ammo supply, those two turrets have a lot, but this turret only has 100 rounds. So what you can do is to fly something like, I guess, a kilometer ahead of this plane and provoke him into dumping all his frontal cannons ammo at you. But remember, you have to fly fast and unpredictable. When you slow down, when you become predictable, you can be hit. So this is basically playing with fire, especially because the guy can just pretend to have run out of ammo, provoke you into coming head-on, and then fire at you with remaining ammo. So I don't really recommend this. You can try it, but disclaimer, I don't accept any refunds for this video. Alright guys, let's see the fire arcs in practice. So as you can see, first of all, the redmost turret can fire that more or less this far backward, sorry, downwards, and it can fire. Yeah, I think it was more or less. Yeah, you can see two markers coming together, so it can fire somewhere that far. The turret in the middle on the back is trickier because, as I said, it can fire upwards, but first of all, it has problems with going over the tail, but honestly this is not something you want to rely on when you're attacking B6, and this turret can attack to the front as well, which is pretty problematic. See? Well, it has some trouble with the engines, but being an obstacle, but that's pretty much how it is. Anyway, for the one aiming to the front can fire this much downwards, and yeah, it can fire pretty high up, this much. And to the sides, as you can see, it can also fire pretty far. Yeah, it's pretty much those 30 degrees. So again, as I said, do not attack this plane from above and from behind and exactly from the front. Let's dump the bombs so I can show you the roll rate. It's not great, but it can be enhanced by using the radar a bit. Yeah, if you saw a small difference in the speed of roll a moment ago, it was caused by the radar. And if you try to sneak below a B6 from behind to avoid the turret, well, just see how it can pitch up. And now everything below the plane is in the range of at least one turret. So yeah, I do not recommend. And if you try to fly up from behind, remember this turret here can give you some grief. So let me add two quick words. Firstly, as you can see, I forgot to mention armor. B6 has a bit of armor. Those are basically behind the pilots. So shooting from the rear is going to be even harder for killing pilots, as you can see. And secondly, the rearmost turret has very strong armor, especially the glass here, but yeah, you're just not going to kill this gunner easily unless you have cannons and are firing from up close. So that was one thing. The other thing is that you might have noticed the guys in the battle footage having computer-like nicknames like bots, but I assure they were humans. The reason why I hid their names using options provided in the game is that I focus on people doing stupid things. So it's not like something did something stupid once or twice, and it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but I'm focusing on it. So I don't want to be an asshole and be like, oh, those two idiots did stupid shit, look at them. No, I just want to you guys to learn from others and their mistakes, and I don't want to be an asshole and making a show out of someone who was maybe stupid or maybe just clueless about B6. So I assure they were real players. and it's not just some bots or something dying bot deaths. Alright guys, thank you for watching and until the next time.